Hello and welcome to aorbtech. Today we'll start officially a practical implementation of Matplotlib, and the agenda of today's meeting is a line plot. So let's see the definition of line plot. It connects point with a line, which means that we have to draw a graphical representation in a line and showing a relationship between two or multiple features or columns. The basic purpose is basically showing the trends line. For example, we can see a relationship between those two features or multiple features are increasing or decreasing, and is commonly used for the time step or order data, or also to find a relationship between those columns. So let's see, this is a simple graph. Don't worry, we will start a practical on that as well, but this one is just for theoretical part. So if you see this graph, you have two column. One is basically a vertical, which is like y value, and the next one is basically a horizontal on the x value. So the x value is from 1 to 5 and y is basically 10 to 30, and as you can see a straight line. So this is basically the way that we got is basically connecting, as I describe here, like connecting points with a line. So based on the points is basically connecting. Either it can be straight, as you can see here. Mostly it's like the relationship between these two features are basically one is increased, sighting is also increased, like a directly proportional, but sometimes it's basically neutral or negative. So that's how a simple line graph is work. Now we'll start a practical. For a practical, first we need to import our library. That usually we do, as you already learned if you're watching our episode regarding pandas and numpy. So I already showed you in previous episode how you can install Matplotlib. If you didn't check the episode, you can check out how we can install Matplotlib. So here I'm going to import, because we have to use to visualize our graph. So import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. As plt you can give any name. I use plt, which is very standard name. Mostly commentary using the same plt name. So simply run our line of code. Now we need a data set. So for that I just take a 3 column here, very simple, which is basically a toy data set. To be honest, it's like 20 values. The basic idea is basically not only like taking toy data set, but to understanding how we can generate a line plot if we were given like some columns. So that's what we have to understand here. So first one is basically experience, 1 to 20 years experience, how much. The second is basically data scientist salary. This is like in thousand per years, so 58,000, 62,000 dollar per years, based on the experience that here. For example, you have a 20 year experience, you will get 152,000 per years. The last one is basically data engineer salaries. So this one, this column we also will use. I will show you how we can utilize and we can visualize if with experience with the comparison. So this is like another like data engineer salaries, 52,000 if you have 1 year experience, and this 52,000 is basically per years. Keep in mind, of course, it's not going to be high salary per month. Okay, so let's try to visualize. So let's start with calling our library name, which is plt, and then you have to basically plot. Plot is basically, we are basically using line plot, that's why we have to call the name, which is plot. And then we have to small bracket. The first column that we have is basically experience, and comma. The second column that we have is basically a data scientist salary. So data scientist salary, and let's run and let's see the results. Okay, here you can see our first graph. Congratulations. So this graph is basically based on experience and data scientist salary, and this line is basically a very positive linear relationship. If you have a higher experience, you definitely have a higher salaries. But can we understand from this graph, because it's not properly formatting? Let's do it. So let's label it. So what we have on X, we have experience. So let's try to do it. So for label plt dot x, and then you have to call label and then the any name that you want to show. So here we have a year's experience, and let's take it, and if I run it, we can see year of experience here. So now we have to label on the y-axis. What we have on y-axis, we have a salaries. So plt dot y label salaries in $1,000, and let's run it. Now we have some basic understanding if we see from the graph, because we get age of experience, we get salaries labels on the y-axis. Perfect. But still we can customize some more things. We can add the title as well. The title may be plt again title, and instead of data scientist salary, we can say that salary versus experience. So we get salary versus experience title, and we have year of experience on the x-axis and salaries in the y-axis. The last one just simply plt dot show to show our graph. Very nice format, as you can see here. You can save this graph from here. You have the option, you can simply save it, and you can utilize it in your presentations or maybe some reports. So that was our graph, but we can do one thing here. Maybe we can set the label what this line is basically representing here. As we already know that this is our data scientist salary, so simply you have to pass another parameter in plot, which is label, and you can marker with O if you want. If you don't, you don't need to. So simply I can don't use the name of the parameter like marker, and if I run it, you didn't see a label here, although I mentioned in our parameter in line plot line of code. For that, you need to specify a legend plt dot legend, and as soon as I run this line of code, you will see a label. So this line is basically representing data scientist salaries. Now we have a perfect graph already, so I can show you the marker as well, and if I show you, it will show in the circular, like we get it, but we just don't need it. Just go with the simple format, because idea is basically how we can visualize. In the next one we will customize our line plot. So yeah, that was it. So next, now we wanted to show our data engineer salaries. How we can do that? Simply I can copy, or maybe I just put another line plt dot plot year of experience data engineer salaries comma label is equal to data engineer. If I run, now we get two lines. Very nice. So we have The blue line is basically represent a data scientist. The orange line is basically represent a data engineer. What they are representing? They are representing a salaries in $1,000. As you can see that data scientist has a higher salaries, have some margins between data engineers, and in x-axis we have just one column which is year experience. I hope you understand this graph easily, and well, it also help you to how we generate our simple line graph. In the next, I will show you how we can customize our graph as well. Now we can see how we can customize our graph. So let's do it. Let's copy the same line of code that we used before and send it and run it. So this was a simple graph. Let's try to customize it. So what we can do, let's say that I wanted to change this blue line with the red color. So how I can do that? Simply just write color and maybe is equal to red, and if I run, as you can see that we customize and we change red with the blue. So if I say that color is equal to let's say that maybe green, and as you can see that we also change here the color is choose is by default. So these are by default. If we don't mention any color, it was basically by default Matplotlib generate those color. Here basically we're trying to customize, so we wanted to make according to our preferences. So let's say that I wanted to data scientist with the red color and data engineer with the green color. So first I change the color. The second one that I can say that, let's say that I wanted to increase the line width as well. So I wanted to a bit thicker lines, so line width, and let's say that 2, and if I run it, you have a bit thick line, as you can see that compared to the data engineer. So let's take the same for the data engineer as well, and we have a perfect line. Nice. Okay, so this was the line width. Previously we also work on the change of the line color. I can also do one thing. I can also add the grid as well. plt dot grid, and I just pass as a true because by default it was false. If I run it, we have a perfect grid as well. As you can see that previously it was not, so we can have a grid as well. Perfect. Extra thing we can do, which is marker, and I maybe match styles. Let's do it with the marker. So marker, let's say line is represented with the M, and the data engineer is basically represent with the S. So if I run, let's see how the line it will be look like. So S is basically represent with a square, and this one is basically a circular, as you can see here. So we have a perfect customizations here. We have a different style, we customize our color, we also change the size of the line as well, we change the style as well, and we also add the grid as well. So now you see our previous graph. It's like a very basic graph, and if you comparison with the customized graph, it's look really amazing. So I hope it's clear for you. Now we can also adding a theme as well. For example, if you don't want to just customize it and you just simply wanted to use a theme, you can do as well. So let's explore this topic as well. We can try a different themes. So how we can use a different theme, I can show you. Let me change from Markdown to Python. Here's Python. So let's try to print it for you, like, sorry, plt dot style dot availables. So if I print it, these are basically different styles that we can use it. So we have multiple options here, as you can see that. So let's take this basic graph and let's apply a theme on it. So let's say that I wanted to take 538. This is my favorite that I'm usually use in my data scientist project. You can use as well. So how you can do that? So simply you have to write plt dot style dot use, and you can use anything from here, whatever you like. So let me show you this one. Let me give a heading 538 style. So if I run, you will see a magic without any customizations. Oh, wow, as you can see that we didn't have to do any customization here, just simply one line of code and the magic is done here. And as you can see, this is like customized, that we did so many parameters like color, line width, marker, and then grids. Here we just simply use a style, which is I use here 538, and as you can see the results here. So it's so beautiful graph, very nice for your presentation as well, and for your report as well. You can utilize that kind of graph as well. I can show you some other graph as well. So let me print it. Maybe I can show you some, like for example, that I'm gonna take this one, grayscale, let's say that. So let's change it with the plt dot style dot use 538 with grayscales. Let me run it, and as you can see a different graph here. So this was our grayscale graph. So that's how you can plot your graphs, and I show you 3 different way here. The first one is basically a simple graph to explain you how you can generate a line graph, and in the second I explain you guys how you can customize your graph based on your own requirement or based on your own preferences. So you can add your multiple preferences, change the colors, change markers, and so on. The last one is basically if you don't want to spend so much time on customization and you just wanted to use a different style, you can try. There's a bunch of styles available and you can use any of them. For example, I use here plt dot style. I use 538 one, which is very nice and professional. Then I also use like grayscale. If you want it a black and white, you can use this one as well. So I hope it's clear for you. As I said, that you can also save your graph. As you can see from here, you can save in multiple format like PNG, JPG, and so on. That's the end of this episode. If you're looking for the source code, you can go through this website, and where you can find our Matplotlib series, and you can download the code and you can practice of this topic, which is line plot. I hope it's clear for you. If you have any question, you can write in the comment section as well. And if you like this video, please subscribe our channel, and we'll see you until next time.